Well, good morning, everyone. I'm breaking a rule in a way. I normally do not do my walking rituals outside in the winter, and you might guess why. It's really cold out here. However, a couple of things. I got my Chiefs hat on, which I got for Christmas. So, and of course, today, very important game for the Chiefs. So I can be a fan and still endure the 40-degree temperatures. 40 might be a little generous out here. I think it's only in the upper 30s. You can see some alto cumulus clouds behind me there, kind of cool. Walking on Sequoia, which is my favorite trail. And I can already tell you when I was driving in, I'm looking ahead here, and it looks like they put some new concrete in part of the trail. And this trail has always been pretty well maintained. In fact, a few years back, they replaced an entire section one summer with concrete. So, you know, it's a nice trail to walk. It's a mixture of woods and kind of like walking along Lone Pine as well. So, and if you ever get a chance to walk out here, it's great. It's my favorite one because it's really close to my house. Anyway, I've got some people walking out here today, even though it is a little bit chilly. And if I'm going to do this more in the winter, I got the hat, I got the sweatshirt, I got the sweatpants. What I don't have are gloves. So you might want to work on that. But I do have a pouch. So, you know, I can put my hands right in here if I get too cold. Not too windy today, so that's a good thing. I've got some people walking by me here. I think I passed these folks on the way in. Anyway, what I want to talk about today, now there's some weather coming. Now tonight I wouldn't worry too much about any mention of snow. It's not going to be a huge accumulation. Yeah, trail is closed. I'm going to have to do a detour. I'll show you here. Yeah, I'm going to go around to the street. Okay, you can kind of see this behind me here. Hang on. I know, we'll get back to the snow in a minute. See what they did back there? That's nice. I think it's new concrete from what I saw when I drove in. Anyway, so yes, don't worry too much about tonight's precipitation, snow. But by the way, pretty good chance, at least for some light snow during the actual Chiefs game in Kansas City today. So that's going to be interesting for a Florida football team to deal with. We'll see how that works. Anyway, I don't think it'll accumulate very much. But the bigger picture is Tuesday night. It starts as rain, and the whole snow event will be on the verge of rain, snow, pretty much until the very end. Then it might get kind of heavy toward the end as it makes its way and strengthens toward the East Coast. So that's a little taste of winter, the likes of which we haven't had till, if you count, let's say, before Christmas, when we had that cold and snow. Anyway, that's some weather mentions, I guess you could say, here today. Things worth noting. I'm going to cross the street without getting smacked down here. Anyway, the other thing I wanted to talk about was, this is the first time I've done this. So I have been dabbling in playing jazz piano for about 2 years. I've had the grace and the fortunate outlet of the dugout, where they have what I would call was kind of a combination of just jazz and then kind of an open jazz, where, you know, budding instrumentalists, horns, piano, drums, bass, whatever, can show up, and, you know, they have a little bit of chops. You can play. They've been nice to me. And but what I was saying is that for the first time I actually posted an entire video of me playing, and you can find that on YouTube along with this video. And, you know, by the way, you're going to see a lot more content on YouTube from me here this year, basically, just so you know. Find the location, like it, subscribe to it, because you're going to see more. Anyway, I put this video up. The song is All of Me. It's an old jazz standard classic, and so when you look at it, just know that what I'm doing with that is basically just playing chord accompaniments for that song for most of the time. If you know anything about music and chords, generally speaking, I'm not touching the bass note of the chord or the root of the chord, because the bass player does that. It's kind of conventional wisdom. Not that you can't use that note, but, you know, I already got that covered. And then there's a solo, and the solo, you know, at the rhythm that they picked for me, which was kind. I got through it. You know, I think that it just comes with time. So I appreciate you looking at that, watching it. I know it's a very old song, probably doesn't translate very well to anybody under, well, yeah, I shouldn't say that. It's jazz. It's timeless. So I'll just let you decide. Anyway, this is the kind of thing I do every other Wednesday at the dugout, if you ever want to check that out. It's been going on for a long time. Oh gosh, at least 6 or 7 years, that I think. I'll have to ask Brandon on that. But anyway, so check that out if you can. And we've got the Chiefs game going on. The only other thing I want to work on here over the next week is I've had these tapes forever. So I did a Facebook post on this, and I'll do a video on it when I get to it. But I have probably about 12 reel-to-reel tapes, quarter-inch audio tapes that I've been carrying around that my dad recorded. I've been carrying these around for, well, a long time, decades, and I've just never gotten to actually dub them over digitally, or I don't even have a machine to listen to them on. There are other factors. One of the tapes is labeled Christmas 1948. So one of the things I found out from the Dub Center here in Springfield is that you gotta be really careful that when you start playing these older tapes, you actually have to bake them in an oven. I mean, or whatever heats up. But I mean, yeah, it's a way of adhering the magnetic medium back to the tape, as I understand it. So otherwise you might ruin the entire tape. So that's something interesting to look at. But what's on the tapes, some of it I don't know. Two things I do know, because he labeled it. My dad labeled the moon landing in '69, and I remember him calling me into the living room, and Walter Cronkite was speaking, so that's on there. And then what my dad used to do, and with probably eye rolls from the family, and I was really young when I witnessed this in person, but he used to hang the microphone from the dining room, light over the table, and he wrote out Christmas plays, and he made each family member read their part, basically. As I recall, again, I was very young, this probably got a little more interesting the more highballs that were poured. If you don't know what a highball is, look it up. Anyway, so I'll be dubbing these tapes over, and cross fingers on this that they actually, they actually are still good and can be salvaged. But I'm really looking forward to that. It's one of those things you just procrastinate about forever and never do. And finally, I'm going to take some action on this. Anyway, it's about all I got. Again, the gloves, walking outside, lack of gloves, I should say, kind of taking a toll on my hands. I got one in the pocket, but the one I'm holding the stick with is kind of suffering a little bit. So I'll sign off. Please, again, remember to subscribe or like this video, this channel. You're going to see a lot more to come over the next couple of months. Have a good day, and go Chiefs.